A flurry of market-moving headlines against the backdrop of the largest IPO ever happening this week. In today's cover story, big-name NFL sponsors said to be considering dropping back in the wake of a domestic abuse scandal, and why financial aid for college doesn't go as far as it used to. Plus, Prince Harry is making money news on this Monday morning. First Business starts now.
You're watching First Business. Financial news, analysis, and today's investment ideas.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Angela Miles. It's Monday, September 15th. In our first look, investors put the brakes on ahead of high-profile events, including news from central banks in Scotland considering an exit from the UK. The week starts off with the Dow and S&P 500 near three-week lows. Gold lost more shine, falling $8. Oil slipped 59 cents. Alibaba is not the only IPO worth checking out this week. Rewalk Robotics closed up 113% on Friday. The company makes devices that gets paralyzed patients back on their feet. And for house hunters, the home of America's first TV family, Ozzie and Harriet, is for sale. It was also the location of the Entourage show. The house lists at $4.9 million, and yes, it has been rehabbed. Trader Mark Sebastian of OptionPit.com joins us on this Monday morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ange.
We have a Fed meeting coming up this week, but will the market also focus on that vote in Scotland?
Yeah, I think those are going to be two really key events for the week. Rates started moving last week in anticipation of some potential change in language, and then which could absolutely cause the S&Ps to move. If for some reason Scotland really does vote to leave the UK, that could absolutely send markets reeling and really make the week an ugly one.
What do you think about this rumor of possibly Google taking a stake in eBay?
You know, it makes some sense. I think there is some synergy there. Google Pay is not a huge deal, but Google does manage and process millions and millions and millions of dollars through, and billions of dollars through, ads and all kinds of different things. So I think there's tons of synergy there. So it absolutely makes sense. Whether it's going to happen or not is a different story.
And I have a viewer who wants to know about Alcoa stock. Shares have gone from $7 to $17 this year. Would you be a buyer?
With China being weak and Europe maybe going into recession, now the U.S. is getting a lot stronger. I'm not sure how much more upside there is in that stock. It really has had a nice run. I would be looking to at least pair off some of my position up here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Time now to say good morning to my colleague Chuck Coppola for an update on that blockbuster Alibaba IPO this week.
Angie, demand is so brisk for mega IPO Alibaba that the deadline for taking orders has been pushed up to Wednesday afternoon. The roadshow for the Chinese e-commerce company ended in San Francisco Friday. It continues this week in Hong Kong and London. The stock price in Alibaba could debut at $60 to $66 per share, but may go higher. Also, the funding goal could surpass $21.1 billion based on demand. Shares are likely to price Thursday and trade on Friday. Alibaba investor Yahoo closed at an 8.5-year high on the news.
iPhone fanatics are whipped up in a frenzy. The Apple website crashed from time to time on Friday in a crush of people wanting to be among the first to get their hands on the smartphones. Although pre-orders for the iPhone 6 should arrive in the next few days, due to hot demand, that new larger screen iPhone 6 is on back order at places including Sprint, Verizon, and AT&T. In some cases, it could take into October for the plus-sized phone to ship. The iPhone 6 models are expected to be in Apple stores on Friday. Apple traded last at $101.
Economists are predicting a very happy holiday shopping season. Those predictions follow a solid round of retail numbers out just last week. Sales rose 0.6% in August, and sales were revised up to 0.3% for July. Paula Rosenblum of Retail Systems Research says consumers are ready to spend, especially because of one key factor.
I don't think I can overstate the importance of falling gas prices to contributing to that. I mean, it's starting to become meaningful enough that you save $15 on a tank of gas, and that's real money.
Forecasts are out already that it could be another brutally cold winter. Rosenblum says it's not the cold, but the snow that can hurt foot traffic.
Traders are already making a list of retail stocks to buy ahead of the holidays. Trader Matt Kavanaugh of CMZ Trading is here to share his list. Hi, Matt. What do you like?
I like Lululemon. I like what management's doing. I like the price momentum on the stock, and I think there's some value there. Also, one to watch is Amazon. It's been a little weak lately, but I definitely like this one over the big box retailers, and it should be a good tell on how the public's doing. Also, Costco, great company, great management, always a good company to watch, good company to buy.
Thank you for sharing, Matt.
Thank you.
In our cover story, the business of controversy after a video from a security camera showed now former Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice punching his then fiancee unconscious in an elevator. Nike and Electronic Arts video games cut their ties with the athlete. But now sponsors are shifting their concern to how NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell handled Rice's act of domestic violence. There's more than an elevator security camera watching members of the NFL. FedEx, PepsiCo, and TD Ameritrade all say they're watching whether the NFL slipped up or covered up the Ray Rice domestic violence case.
If it's a cover-up, I would have to think that then you're going to have a lot of groups, sponsors, fans, nonprofit organizations like NOW who are going to want Roger Goodell to be fired. They're going to want somebody to be held accountable.
The NFL has hired former FBI Director Robert Mueller to investigate who and when people in the commissioner's office first saw the security video showing Rice knocking his then fiancée unconscious and dragging her body out of an elevator. The video Commissioner Roger Goodell denies seeing before issuing Rice a 2-game suspension, an amount criticized for being too light.
There may be a cover-up. There may be some mendacity. The commissioner's job is at stake. A measure of the crisis is that he's the most powerful man in sports, and he is now struggling on a daily basis to keep his job.
The NFL faced initial criticism for not taking domestic violence seriously sooner, with or without the incriminating video. Women comprise 38.5% of fans, and that fan base has been growing steadily for the past 5 years.
I think, it does affect the way that I think of the player and the NFL as a whole.
What he did was awful, and he should be punished for it. And as far as the NFL, it's still ongoing. New things are coming up every day, so we'll see. And I'm still a huge NFL fan.
Other advertisers, General Motors, Anheuser-Busch, and Procter & Gamble, have made no statements about changing their NFL advertising budgets. There are 17.5 million reasons why NFL advertisers are reluctant to change. That's how many viewers Nielsen calculates watched pro football last year.
Jimmy John's may slice off a major steak. A Bloomberg News report says the sandwich company has hired North Point advisors to potentially assist in a deal. The size of the steak Jimmy John's might sell is unclear. The report says Jimmy John's had revenue system-wide of $1.3 billion in 2013.
Shares of Darden restaurants are going stale following second quarter earnings, and it's stirred up a battle over breadsticks. Activist investor group Starboard Value says Darden is offering too many breadsticks per table at its Olive Garden chain, leading to waste and cold bread. Starboard doesn't advocate eliminating the chain's unlimited breadsticks offer, just more control over doling them out. Darden reported a second quarter loss in its earnings report Friday, but beat estimates by 2 cents. Darden stock dropped 1.5% to $47.58.
A star from the hit TV show Top Chef is serving up advice for entrepreneurs. Fan favorite Carla Hall successfully parlayed her time on the Bravo channel into a hot culinary career. Hall's claim to fame, her bite-sized cookies, but she believes there's plenty of room at the top for wannabe small business owners.
This was 4 years ago, even longer, when they were making cookies as big as your head. And they were like, why are you making cookies that small? They should be bigger. Even when I did a tasting, somebody thought they were dog treats. So I think the thing is, instead of thinking about it like what is an area that people should go into, I think they should think about what do they feel passionate about and then tweak it to what the market will bear.
Hall is promoting the Chase Mission Main Street Grants program. That program in its third year now will dish out $150,000 in grants to up to 20 small businesses nationwide. The deadline to apply is October 3rd to missionmainstreetgrants.com.
The tragic death of Joan Rivers is bringing attention to outpatient clinics. Starr died last month after going into cardiac arrest following a routine throat surgery. Reports say a doctor who was unauthorized to be in the surgery went ahead with an unplanned biopsy. The outpatient clinic denies that the biopsy occurred. Rivers' family is reportedly planning to sue the clinic. Attorney Edward Steinberg says these kinds of lawsuits are on the rise.
You see a lot more lately being brought against outpatient operative facilities because there just are that many more that exist, and that environment very often results, as I said, in not enough staff, not the adequate staff, and then when something bad happens, even if that's not malpractice itself, you can't get the person to the emergency center fast enough to take care of them, and now they're in a tough spot.
Steinberg says age and medical history should be considered when getting surgery in an outpatient clinic.
Hospitals and healthcare facilities are likely to benefit financially from Obamacare. Recently, analysts from Deutsche Bank placed buy ratings on 5 stocks, while also lifting price targets. Stocks on the buy list include Community Health Systems with a price target for the next year of $65. HCA Holdings was given a level of $82. LifePoint Hospital's new price target is $85. Tenet Healthcare's new price point, $63.50. And Deutsche Bank expects Universal Health Services stock will make it to $125 in the next 12 months.
Changing gears, Polypore International shares are revving up as the electric car market gains traction. The stock closed higher at $43.72, and analysts at Cowen & Company gave shares an outperform rating. Many analysts already ranked the company a buy. Among the items produced by the San Francisco-based company, lithium battery separators used in electronics, electric cars, and dual voltage cars. Just a month ago, Zacks rated the stock underperform, and other agencies gave it a hold designation.
Turning to the economic calendar for today, it's the Empire manufacturing numbers for September, industrial production, and capacity utilization. Still to come, a trader who believes BP's legal issues won't hold the stock down. Plus, tips for parents making the financial transition as the kids go off to college. And after the break, why Prince Harry is in the money today. We'll be right back. Prince Harry turns the big 3-0 today. The dashing prince is also coming into a pile of money. Our royal watcher, Fred Weintraub, joins us on set this morning. Good morning, Fred. And how much money are we talking here?
We're talking about 30 million pounds because when Princess Di passed away, she left both William and Harry 10 million pounds. That accrues since 1997. And so he'll inherit a significant amount of money.
Reports also say she left behind stocks, jewelry, even her wedding dress.
This will be the first time that the two brothers will get significant jewelry and the wedding dress, which will transfer from her brother to her children.
How do you think Harry will likely react to his newfound wealth?
I think that you are going to see a much more mature Harry that knows that this is his time. And as he has this grand birthday party, you are going to see someone who is not wild at nightclubs, but is very sophisticated and knows the world is watching to see exactly how he behaves.
One person who might not be eating birthday cake today is Kate Middleton. She's expecting, which is exciting.
It is exciting. She won't be eating birthday cake or probably drinking wine, but she's the one who's planning this exclusive 30-person party.
Harry is also known for his charity work. Do you think he'll continue?
Absolutely. The royals each have 200 charities at least that they're involved in. Those charities equal money. If they're involved, the charities get money, and that's how they have kept going from a royal standpoint, and they will keep doing it, and Harry will get more and more involved. And it's good for England, it's good for the world, and he will keep doing it.
One final question from across the pond. Do you think Scotland will exit the UK?
It's very close. The polls are suggesting 52 to 48. The answer is no. It'll affect health care. It'll affect the economy. Scotland doesn't need to go get another currency. It's all a big political issue. But in the end, the answer will be no.
Thanks for coming on the show, Fred.
Thanks for inviting me.
Coming up, a trader bets BP can move past its legal troubles. And after the break, Bill Mueller steps in with fresh ideas on how to attack the cost of college. Stay with us. Baby boomers are plotting a mass exodus out of New York. 60% of working New Yorkers above the age of 50 plan to retire somewhere else. That's according to AARP. The high cost of rent, mortgages, and property taxes are a huge factor, but most baby boomers say they are looking for better health care, housing, transportation, and jobs. Bill Mahler joins us now with another financial stressor, saving for college.
Right now, this year, the College Board says the average cost of a private college is about $41,000 a year, $18,000 for an in-state public institution. These are painful numbers that any family with a kid in college knows too well. It seems that a growing number of people in the middle class just find they can't afford college any longer. How do you make it work? Let's talk with Deborah Fox. She's a specialist in this area. She runs Fox College Funding and joins us by Skype. Deborah, college cost increases are far outstriding the inflation rate. Does that mean that parents are now being pressed to pay more, even as they're less able to?
Parents are paying more for a couple of reasons. One is there's not any more financial aid available. A lot of the financial aid that's available hasn't been keeping up with the pace of inflation. And then, as you mentioned, the cost has risen significantly. And it's really become problematic because college now arguably is one of the largest expenditures for any family, and it's really impacting retirement planning.
You say that parents need to focus on the financial outcome of a college education for their kids and take a layered approach. What do you mean by that?
Well, what that means is they need to look at a lot of different areas to actually mitigate costs, because it's really about reducing their out-of-pocket costs. And there is financial aid, of course, but they also can look at cash flow planning, even academic and admissions planning. For instance, the quality of the college list, how that their student is choosing which colleges they'll apply to can really can really affect the outcome of what they end up paying, and tax reduction strategies too. So layering all those together can literally take tens of thousands of dollars off their costs.
Yeah, I think a lot of parents just say, hey, Junior, what college do you want to go to? And they think, well, that's the one to approach. But there's a whole process to go through just to pick the right school.
That's exactly right. And it's really more even than just the finance side, but the quality of the fit for the child can not only impact the outcome of what the parents will pay, but also that Junior will be able to support him or herself when they get out of college, finding a job.
Yeah, hopefully with not too much debt. All right, Deborah Fox from Fox College Funding. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Still ahead as oil futures drift lower. One trader checks on an oil stock he believes will float higher. Chart Talk is next. Of Bar Chart Bullseye Options joins us on the show on this Monday morning. Happy Monday to you, Alan.
Good morning, Angie.
You're taking a look at oil with us today. As you know, oil has been going to the downside.
Right. It made 16-month lows here just last week, but it did close higher. So that's a key reversal. We'll see if we can get some follow through. What's important when it comes to crude oil is the $90 level. $90 is the midpoint of the $65 low and the $115 high over the last 5 years. So they're important support to lean on as far as crude oil goes.
Well, let's talk about some plays within the oil sector. For instance, an ETF play. What would you do here?
Well, XLE is the energy ETF. It's been very, very strong, been going straight up for 5 years. We've seen this pullback here where it's finding support around 92. It's standing around 94 or so. So every time it's sold off, it's bounced that distance of the sell-off on top of those old previous highs. So that gives us about a 15% upside potential here in XLE. And XLE is still up 7% on the year.
Within that group, what stock would you pick?
Well, we finally get there. We'll break it down into the commodity, then to the sector, now the individual stock. Now, an individual stock that's been under distress, it's made a mess, has been British Petroleum. They're finally trying to clean up from all of the Deepwater Horizon litigation and put that behind them. There's some very, very strong support in BP at $40 from the last 5 years. The April 40 call is what I'm looking at. It's in the money. BP's trading around 46, and that option's going for about 650. So the break-even's only 50 cents higher with 7 months for good things to happen, and it's going to act much like the stock as a stock substitution strategy.
So you're giving yourself a longer time horizon for it to rise.
Yeah, exactly. And this stock is actually down 6% over the last year as opposed to the index, which is up 7%. So I think it's a good value from a risk reward as well, looking at a strong company that's got a very, very low PE, and I think they're going to recover very nicely in the long term.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
That's a wrap for today. Coming up tomorrow, Malls of America. Is it over for big complex shopping as more consumers click to buy? From all of us at First Business, thank you for watching and have a great Monday.